Life feels harder than it should be. I'm not overthinking it. Most young people are overwhelmed, not lazy. I know what you are feeling. You are feeling pressure, overwhelmed, comparing yourself with others, and a whole lot of thoughts you just can't explain to anyone. And I know what that feeling is. I know how it is, and I know what it feels like to feel that way and have to juggle so many thoughts all in your head without having someone to share them with. But here's the main point: you want to focus, and your life feels hard right now because there's too much complexity. Just think of how complex your life already is on the physical, and you are juggling so many thoughts in your head all by yourself without simplifying things. I totally understand the way you are feeling. I know how you are feeling because I have felt this way. You feel pressure, you are comparing yourself, there's a lot of noise in your head, and worst of them, or you have to juggle so many thoughts in your head and living reality. And I found the answer to the reason why you feel this way because I've also felt this way in certain areas of my life. And I am not perfect. I'm also still growing. I am growing, and this is a good journey. But this is what I have to share with you. You know why you feel this way? Because you haven't simplified the equation. You haven't simplified your thoughts. You haven't simplified the inputs. You haven't simplified the outputs. You haven't simplified your day. You haven't simplified your routines. You haven't simplified your relationships and every other thing that simplification is needed in order to feel less of this pressure, comparing yourself and mental noise, and having to juggle a lot of thoughts in your imagination and actually living in reality, you need to simplify your actions, your routines, and everything that you have surrounded by you and the things you do. Another reason is because there's no structure. You can simplify things, but if structures are not set in place for the goals you want, then there is no need. And the most important is clarity because you need clarity before moving on to structuring and from structuring to simplification. So here is a simple acronym to do that: CSS. CSS. Clarity, structure, simplification. So what you want to do is gain clarity on what you want to achieve or what you are or what on what you are currently doing. After gaining clarity, you want to structure. After structure, you want to simplify things, reducing, adding, planning how you are planning how you are going to achieve that goal. And in quest to simplify, you will start looking for different resources online, physically, and taxing your brain to think, which leads to a negative feedback loop because you know the way to freedom is through clarity, structure, and simplification. But when you start thinking without having access to the right resources, the whole processes start again, and this time you may even end up worse. What doesn't help is comparing your paths. You are not the same with any other person. You are unique. Your life is yours, and you should make yourself unique. Another thing is waiting for confidence. Let's be honest. You are not confident. I am not confident. You are afraid, but you have to be brave. You have to be courageous. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, if I do this and it doesn't work, at least I learned. Because in order to succeed, you have to fail. If you don't want to fail, then you are not ready for the journey. And what's the worst that could possibly happen? Just take that step and do that one thing you are scared of. Most times, the one thing you are scared of is where freedom lies. I believe if you try this out, you'll become a better person. Now, what actually works is wrapped into the acronym I gave you earlier: CSS: clarity, structure, and simplification. Let's start with clarity. You have to have fewer goals and give yourself time frame for those goals. That is why you have to focus on the first 90 days of this year. A month is already over. If you can focus on the first 90 days, I guarantee you the, the remaining months of the year and the remaining days will be exponentially great for you. There will be downfalls, but you will know how to structure a path and move forward and become a better person because you have already experienced something similar. It is just different and it will only make you grow higher. You have to protect your attention, and this is done by actually structuring and having clarity and cutting out every form of distraction. When you want to focus on a task, focus on that task for that particular time and ensure that distractions are reduced to the smallest so that you can focus and be very productive and efficient. With this, you not only become better, but it teaches you how to think deeper and come up with new innovations and ideas which will help you in your growth journey. This is what I am also trying to implement in my life in certain areas, and I have already started doing that. The last but not the least, you can't just wake up and live your day the way you want. You wake up, pick up your phone and start using it. Go to school, go to work. No, you should have a structure, plan everything so that you can be efficient and productive in one area, or you can have enough time to spend on that one thing you actually love. Due to circumstances, you may not be able to do that one thing you love, but we both know that value and we both know that value and self-peace come from doing what you love or doing work that actually makes you fall in love with what you did not like initially. So structure your day and ensure you plan every bit. Try to structure the hours and the minutes. Here's the catch: you do not need to simplify your whole life. Who told you that? Well, I just said that, but that's not true. What you don't need to do is fix your whole life at once because it is not possible. Rather, you need to simplify. And in order to simplify, you have to first gain clarity, structure, and then simplify either by reducing tasks or adding more tasks that guarantee you productivity and ensure that your long term goal or your short term goal for the first 90 days is being achieved. With this, I can personally say that you have become 10% better. What is what is left for you to do is take the action. I know you are stressed. I know you do not want to do it, but pick up a pen and a paper and do what you know you should do. If you want clarity in your life, this channel will help. If you want clarity in your life, this channel will help you. I'm also